Hey, what's up guys, I'm back with another video. It's time to do a check out the performance of the Vivo V60 Lite 5G against the Samsung Galaxy A26 5G. So the Samsung is powered by Samsung Exynos 1380 SoC. Also we have 8GB of RAM, while on the other hand Vivo V60 Lite 5G is powered by new MediaTek Dimensity 7360 SoC. Also we have 12GB of RAM. So very interesting to see how both phones is gonna perform, and both phones comes almost in the same price tag here in the Pakistan market. So let's start off with the boot up test. As always, here we go. Logos came up slightly faster on the Samsung A26 5G, and Samsung is running on latest Android 16 with Samsung One UI 8, while Vivo is running on Android 15 with the FunTouch OS version 15, so no Android 16. So Samsung it is slightly faster when it comes to booting up, beating out the Vivo V60 Lite 5G that has a newer MediaTek Dimensity 7360 SoC. And guys, now let's talk about the display. So on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G we have 6.7 inch Full HD Plus AMOLED, which can produce up to 1 billion colors. Also we have 120Hz refresh rate with the center punch hole. Overall you can see in the bezels, even the forehead, especially the bottom chin, it is really small. While on the other hand Samsung has a outdated looking 6.7 inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. And the disappointing thing is that we have a U-shaped notch on the top, while Vivo has a center punch hole, and the bottom chin it is massively big on the Samsung A26 5G. And guys, everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. Also we have same Wi-Fi network on both phones. So the first application I'm gonna launching is going to be the phone dialer. Slightly faster I think on the Vivo has a default dialer, so the animations it is actually more smoother on the Samsung One UI 8. So let's go to the settings, and that looks really similar. Again, you guys are the judge of the speed test. Let's go to the about phone software information. So you can see this one is running on latest Android 16, but this one came with Android 15 right out of the box, while Vivo gave you Android 15 right out of the box as of now. So let's go to the display area and let me show the refresh rate option. So both phones has a 120Hz refresh rate. On default it is on the auto on the Vivo, but I will use the manual 120Hz. So now check out some more apps like Amazon Shopping on both phones. Also we have same Wi-Fi network. That one it is slightly faster on the Samsung or on the Vivo, and the Vivo it is slightly faster if I'm not wrong. Again, you guys are judge of the speed test. Scrolling it is really smooth on both phones. So we have 120Hz desktop tab, that is absolutely similar on both phones. So now check out some games application, and this way we should see a difference between the Dimensity 7360 versus Exynos 1380. Let's opening up the Candy Crush Saga, and the Candy Crush Saga it is exactly the same on both phones. Instagram, that is absolutely similar looks like. Let's spin out. Blazing fast on the Samsung this time over the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. Snapchat, really similar. Spotify, slightly quick I think on the Samsung, almost a draw. Let's opening up the Subway Surfer. So MediaTek Dimensity 7360, so that is absolutely similar on both phones. So here is the Vivo looks like with max volume. We also have a 400% mode. Here is the 100% mode, and here is the Samsung looks like. And the speakers it is much better on the Samsung A26, has a lot more bass over the Vivo speakers. Now let's see the temper too. So the Samsung A26 it is slightly faster I think. The difference it is almost a 1 second difference. Now let's opening up the PUBG Mobile. last big game we have in this speed test. MediaTek Dimensity 7360 is really similar to the Samsung Exynos 1380. So the Vivo, it is slightly faster in terms of opening up the PUBG Mobile. Also in that game you will see a smooth graphics with extreme frame rate on both phones. So now let's open up X. Slightly faster on the Samsung. Let's open up Zedge. Slightly faster on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. So scrolling it is really smooth on both phones. 120 Hz it is working. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones. Default camera application. Let's see which one will open the camera faster. So opening up at the same time, and let me show the cameras right here in this lighting condition. How the cameras looks like on both phones. So I just take one picture and the colors came out more good on the Vivo. So looking at the front facing camera, so the front facing camera I actually like more on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. Now let's see internet browsing speed. So I am using Samsung internet browser on the Samsung A26 versus a Chrome on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. So wikipedia.org open up at the same time. Scrolling it is smooth. Same thing zooming out. Now let's open this tab. Really similar once again. Next on the list is the apple.com. And apple.com it is slightly faster on the Samsung A26 over the Vivo V60 Lite. Scrolling it is smooth on both phones. So now let's say RAM management. So both phones has a 8GB of RAM we have on the Samsung, unfortunately, versus a 12GB of RAM on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. So phone dialer, that is still there. Settings, still there. Amazon shopping, refresh on the Samsung. Let's see Candy Crush Saga, refresh on the Samsung. Instagram, refresh. Let's see Pinout also got refresh. So One UI 8 it just destroyed the RAM management performance so far. Snapchat it is still there. Spotify, that is still there. Subway Surfer, still there. So after I just said that, still RAM management bad on the Samsung. Let's see PUBG, that is still there. X. And now let's open up Zedge on both phones, still there. Last back to the internet browser. So excellent RAM management we have on the Vivo V60 Lite 5G. As far as the apps opening are concerned, definitely, and the Vivo V60 Lite 5G as well as the Samsung A26, and both phones is performing, I would say, really similar in terms of the apps opening speed. But in games I see a slightly difference between these two devices. Sometimes the Vivo it is faster, sometimes the Samsung it is faster. On the Vivo we have 6500 mAh battery size with 90 watt super fast charger inside the box, while Samsung has a 5000 mAh battery size with 25 watt super fast charging but no charger in the box. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Vivo V60 Lite 5G versus the Samsung A26 5G. And do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.